Hello.
Hey, is this the King, Sugar Dunkerton?
I've been known. I've also been known to not answer restricted numbers. So I'm glad you told me it was restricted. Yes, I'm glad you told me you was calling because I would have been like, no, this can't be them.
All right, well, Sugar, you're on the line right now. You know it's me, Will Huckabee. You're here with my co-host, Zane Paisley, and also the Heroes and Legends champ, Drew Skills. Let me go ahead and give you a formal introduction to all the listeners and stuff, all right?
Please do.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are now graced with the presence of, I want to say, the former Resistance Pro champion. Am I right, Sugar?
Grand Slam. I did everything there was to be done.
Grand Slam champion. The wrestling extraordinaire. The Sugar. The too sweet to be sour, a.k.a. the King. Sugar Dunkerton. What's going on, Sugar?
Nothing to it, man. It's a lot of business going on in Indiana. I'm super happy about that. I feel like I was going through there a lot with IWA, and I mean they're getting back into the swing, which is also good. But it's good that Strong Style's coming back. It's good to be back with Heroes and Legends. I'm glad there was time to be able to do all of that, man. It's awesome.
I was gonna say, like coming up this weekend, man, you had a real big match at Heroes and Legends. How do you feel returning back to Heroes and Legends up there in Fort Wayne, Indiana?
It's a trip because it's really one of those started from the bottom situations. To be honest with you, because the last show, me and Tracy Smothers went at it, which when you go against Tracy Smothers, that's inexperience and a half. Like whenever you do that, that's the main man right there. Yeah. So what basically what's going on is they having the 20-man battle royal deal at the start of the show. The winner of this 20-man battle royal not only receives a deal with Heroes and Legends, but they also get a title shot of their choosing, which is funny that Drew Skills is on the line. Cause my man's sitting on that title for what about 3 or 4 years now? What we sitting on? What we sitting on, Drewski?
Champion. It's been 3 years.
Yeah. I've been known. How long now?
It's been over 3 years.
Over 3 years.
Over 3 years. Held it from the start. You have a title that you've had for a little while too, a little too long. In a lot of people's opinion, and on Friday night you're gonna be bringing that gold. So there's a lot of gold gonna be happening this weekend.
In the spirit of the election, I'd like to know where you got your data for these opinions. Did you poll? Did you went out and went house to house and asked this question? Did you put up a tweet? I'd love to know where you get your information from, Mr. Skills. I didn't know you was an investigative reporter.
There's several different avenues that we use, champion, to come up with these different statistics, the different statistics that we get.
Oh, sure, right. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So that being said, but we're not talking about my belt right now. I'll handle that business when we handle that business. But I'm just saying, I'm not gonna say if. I'm speaking into existence. When I win this battle royal, when I get this deal, tag team title kind of nice, but that means I got to find somebody, and I don't have Huckabee immediately available because I know if I had Huck, that's a wrap. I know Joe. Joe might get a little upset. Shout out to Joe Black, angriest cruiserweight on the scene. I love him though. He's so poetic and angry. I love him. I love dark skinned Justice being served in the cruiserweight division. I love it. So let's keep that going. And then they got the cruiserweight belt, which is smooth. I'm liking that too. I dropped some weight myself. Well, you sitting on that thing over there, and it's don't you get tired of holding that around? You want to pass that Dutch, man. Pass that. I might have to come see you after I win this deal.
I don't get tired at all of holding it, so that part we don't have to worry about. But me and Abyss we'll have enough butt whooping going around that if you and anybody else wants to get involved, they can come on out and, we can do that. But first, there's 19 other guys that say that that's not going to happen.
I feel you. Well, just don't sweat your perm out before I get there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Sugar, hold on, man. Before you start making challenges to Drew and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and since Drew's already answer your challenge and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and pass you on to the Bearded Wonder, a.k.a. Das Wonder Beard, Zane Paisley. Zane, what do you got for Sugar?
Well, Sugar, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. I remember seeing you back in Insanity Pro days here in Indianapolis. Always put on an entertaining show. Appreciate you coming on with us tonight. Looking forward.
You dated me on that one, man. Oh my God, like that's way back. I miss Insanity. Oh, that was good. Great company. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I saw you on a show with it was American Dragon versus the Naptown Dragon, and they took on Jimmy Jake street fight that night. It was a great show.
Yeah, man. Like I'll say Insanity definitely cracked the indie scene open, got some attention on the Indiana area, what IWA wasn't doing, Insanity was definitely doing. And everything has to run its course, but I really wouldn't have got my break if it wasn't for Insanity. And I really appreciate them taking a chance on me when they did, and trying to make some things happen as far as it goes. I tell you, excellent company. But please go ahead.
Well, no, it's just I was gonna say something about you've had some viral video success, couple different things. The slam dunk that you did during a match, and your Tough Enough audition tape that wasn't really an audition tape. Did you open up a lot of eyes through those avenues?
To be fair, it's like the Chikara slam dunk thing. It's I'm glad that it got the looks that it got, but I don't want to be defined by that. Definitely not. At the time, it was cool, but it's I'm trying to be on some different stuff, It's I've had to show people a lot of different sides of what I could do. And I definitely don't want to be defined by old things. I definitely want the new stuff to stand out. You mentioned another one, the Tough Enough audition tape. Yeah, that was cool, but it was one of those cases where I wasn't begging anybody for a spot. It's either we can do business or we can't do business. And obviously we didn't. It's fine. I'm sure they're gonna do great with whoever it is that they pick, and there's always other ways. But you know me, if I'm gonna throw my hat in the mix, my hat that I don't wear, it's always gonna be, a little my flavor. What I do like right now though, that's actually got a lot of hits on it, is if you go to the Good Stuff show on YouTube, they actually have a 14-minute special. It's a PBS digital show. They actually have a 14-minute special on a night that I did at Freelance, and just kind of discussing my odyssey in this business. That's the kind of stuff that I want to be remembered by. So the Good Stuff, it's on YouTube. Definitely check that out. Right now it's sitting on 10,000 plus views. I would love to see that get as many eyes on it as humanly possible.
Well, did you send that out on your social media?
Yeah, I've posted about it a number of times, and I'll definitely post about it again when we get finished with this conversation. They told me about it, and I got to thank Jack Edinger for getting me connected to that. They told me about it, but I had no idea what I was in for until I saw the finishing product, and it was crazy, man. It was very a lot of action, a lot of insight on how I want people to think of me when it's all said and done. And I'm very proud of that piece, and it's really reinvigorating. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. You just have to see it to get it.
Well, can you throw out your social media information so our listeners can check that out?
Oh yeah, the Good Stuff. The Good Stuff. It's what does it take to be a professional wrestler? That's the title.
What's your social media information so that way our listeners can follow what you're doing?
That's what I'm talking about. At Sugar Dunkerton on Twitter. On the Instagram, I became a graham cracker. I finally, that's what I like to call it. I finally broke down. So it's Sugar Dunkerton, FASHO. which is pronounced Sugar Dunkerton for sure, for those who are ebonically challenged. Sugar Dunkerton on Facebook. And on Tumblr. I even get down on the blogging a little bit. It's ITS, and then sugardunkerton.tumblr.com. There's some weird stuff that flies through that Tumblr, so it's good stuff. And prowrestlingtees.com/sugardunkerton. You're always asking, how can I support this strong black male trying to make his way through the craziness of independent wrestling? Buy a shirt. That's what you can do. That's what you can do. They're soft. They're nice. They have good designs that come from a great Japanese designer by the name of Hiroto Fukunaga. Please, buy one of those. Support the cause, because this hair stuff and this gear stuff and this traveling stuff is not cheap. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, you just mentioned Japan, your designers in Japan. I'm a huge Ribera Steakhouse mark, and Will has told me that you have a jacket.
Woo! Yes, I do. And that Ribera steak was like, it was. I got the winter jacket. Now, John Grisham. Now, okay, Gresham's got the summer jacket. The summer jacket is the hotness. That's like that stadium jacket. Like when you show up at the, it's like a members only, but it's like flyer than that, like jacket. That one is nice. It's light. Gresh got that when he did his tour with, I want to say at the time he went over for DDT. So when he came through, he was like flossing. Like he was like, oh yeah, you check out my new jacket? Bam! Bam! He was all in the locker room with it. So I was like, I'm going to get me one of those. So when I went over for Smash, which was Tajiri's promotion, I was there for a week. So it was one of those cases where I was like, yo, we got to go to Ribera before this tour is over. I'm not going home without one of those jackets. Now, the thing about the jacket is, like, you got to have it bestowed upon you. Like, you can't just ask. They have to, like, recognize you or know what's going on, and then, like, they see you, and they want you to take the picture, and then, of course, they bestow you with the jacket. So I went with Rob Raw out of Sweden and Michael Kovac out of Austria. And they did not want to go because Ribera is kind of, it's kind of pricey, but it's good food. They were like, I was like, yo, just make this trip with me, because at the end of this rainbow of yen that you're going to have to spend is the jacket. The jacket. You will be legitimized when you get the jacket. That's all that matters. It's like, so, I was in so many words threatened by these European gentlemen that were 2 times my size that, if they went and spend this kind of money and did not get a jacket, that I was probably going to have to give up services in a physical way to make up for said jacket. It gets lonely out there on them tours, so it is what it is. Fortunately, we walked through the door, and they were like, oh, Kovac, Raw, Suge Dunkerton. Oh. I was like, yes, the jacket is coming. So we politely ate. We looked upon the bounty of pictures. That's the other thing to go for. Just the pictures against the wall. Like, they've had all sorts of sports stars and celebrities and wrestlers, and the pictures are just awesome. Like, that's history on those walls of that place. But yeah, when we left, we got hooked up with the jackets. It was great. I felt very legit. It sits in a very protected part of my closet. Yeah, man. It was definitely good times. Like, you got the jacket, you're legit.
Well, I've heard it might be a little chilly in Fort Wayne this weekend. Maybe you
Oh, okay. You're gonna be at the show?
Oh, I will be there. And I would love to take a mark photo with you in the jacket. That would be.
Oh, shit! I broke out the jacket. Okay, I'll tell you what. I've never had anybody request me to show up to a show with the jacket. So, as long as Drew's not around, because I know Drew. I've heard a rumor that Drew, mysteriously things end up in your gear bag that have no reason to be in your gear bag at the end of the show, and I would hate for a jacket that like came all the way, especially for Japan, like for me, to just end up somehow at your house. So as long as I'm able to keep that accounted for, sure, we can go ahead and take that photo. That's not me, shading Drew or anything like that. I would never do such a thing. Not at all. He's a vet.
Yeah. Well, this is the Undisputed Wrestling Show on the Angry Marks Podcast Network, your home of the best professional wrestling and mixed martial arts podcasts. I am going to head it over to the Heroes and Legends World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Drew Skills.
And I'm sure I'm going to hear about it. Yeah.
Well, my bag is too full with my belt to add your jacket to it, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, cool. I can dig that. Express or Men's Warehouse on those belts?
Sears. They make the best belts.
I know you're a quality. I know you're a quality dude. Like you're definitely a quality over quantity dude. I'll give you that. Like I will never take that away from you.
Should be, man. Big weekend coming up, brother. Big weekend coming up.
Well, definitely.
Is this your first War Games match? It'll be my first War Games match. Is this your first?
No. Actually, this will be my third. My first one was at GCW in Phoenix City, Alabama, way back in the day. And then I had another one at APW in Royston, Georgia. So this one will definitely stand to be my biggest one yet. And I see you got the squad, you got the band together. You know what I'm saying? Like Rev Ryan, you know what I'm saying, Jam Master J. You know, everybody, you got the crew together, all them. And I had to assemble myself a little team of unique individuals. You know, like I had to go ahead and I had to outsource. You know what I'm saying? I got Shane Mercer on my side, and then, I had to go get, the one with the two ends, Billy Gunn, so, I think it's going to be, pretty worthy event. It's definitely going to be worth the ticket admission, aside from all the other great stuff that's on that show.
Yeah, there's a ton of great stuff on that show, a ton of great talent on that show. But that War Games match is going to be intense. I did another little podcast last week, the Indie Power Rankings, and Billy was on there. So, just like he said, you better stay on your toes because I'm not sure Billy is so pro Mike Smith anymore.
I feel you. The other thing about that too is it amazes me how calm we're able to have this conversation right now. Because I'm not gonna be very calm with you when that cage door closes. Because I haven't forgotten. Please believe I have not forgotten about the fact that you thought I was ducking you for a title match for the three-way that never happened. And me, I don't hide. I can't hide. Like, you see my hairstyle. Like, you can't tuck that away. I live wild. So I ain't forgot. So when I get in that ring with you, yeah.
Not only were you ducking, brother, but the company closed the doors and ran away. You were so worried about getting in there with me that the whole company shut down and ran away. That's all right. That's all right. Because Friday we get to open that door back up.
Okay, so that's your version of the history that happened, right? So I didn't run away from. Okay, I didn't run away from Shannon Moore. I didn't run away from Silas Young. I didn't run away from getting my face smashed in by Chris Hero. I didn't run away from. It was funny that you brought up Battle Royals earlier because I had to go through a Battle Royal to win the championship. And then let's not forget, I had to go through your boy Remy. Even when y'all came out there to help. So, all that stuff that I just ran headfirst into, and it's the thought of Drew Skills that just, I had to make a phone call and see if they can close up shop. Nah, man. You know better than I do. And it makes your hair stand up. It can't even relax now that you know that we finally got to be in the same ring together, man. And that's cool. And I appreciate how calm you speaking to me right now. And I appreciate the fact that you would have me on your show. But just know, after the calm, there's always the storm. You know this. You have to know this in your heart right now.
It's going down. There's no doubt about it. It is definitely going down. Now, I don't recall exactly the same way you do about you and young Remington. But when it comes to Friday night, the door is going to lock. The cages, we're all going to be locked in there together before it's all said and done. And, scores will be settled.
Okay, cool. I'm perfectly okay with that. Like, cause it definitely needs to. I'm going to bring the hardware with me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just so you know how I roll. Just so you know how I roll. Cause I'm keeping that thing forever. You got 3 years. But what's 3 years against forever?
Yeah, that's how I feel about mine on Saturday. So I respect that. And we're just going to have to get at it.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely no doubt. Also, is William Huckabee still on the line? Where's William at?
I'm here, Sugar. What you got, man?
William, I want to come on the show to person, because this is my thing. What I hate about the business sometimes is people act like there's not enough room to celebrate what other people got going on in the business. And I feel like there's room for everybody to celebrate everybody's successes, just some people don't choose to. Yes, it's competitive. Yes, everybody's trying to get to that top spot. But sometimes you just got to celebrate stuff that you see around you. And, listeners, I can't say enough good things about the fact that William Huckabee stepped up to a clutch situation at AWE Almost Famous a little while ago. It was him versus the boss of CZW, DJ Hyde. And where most people would have folded, most people would have been like, man, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. The Incredible Hulk turned it all the way up and broke off the knob and decided that he was going to go ahead and, damn, if I get booked, I'm going to beat this dude down. And that's exactly what he did. It was a horse fight. Like, that was Horsemania. It was fantastic. It was like a 8.7 on like the old school sloppy brawler scale. I loved it. I was in the back popping, and I'm trying to tell you guys, that's the kind of stuff that gets me excited and makes me happy about professional wrestling. Huck, I'm trying to tell you, like, that turned me into just a giddy little guy. And at the end of the day, I'm hoping that that's just a door that you just tore open. You tore off the hinges to get you into some better stuff, man. And I wanted to tell you that person. I knew I was going to tell you that before the end of this podcast.
Well, thank you, man. I really do appreciate it. I wish somebody could have been in that ring to take some of those shots. I would tell some of the boys in the back, probably the dumbest thing I've ever done in my professional wrestling career was telling DJ Hyde that he hits like a bitch. Because that very next hit basically almost knocked me out. Speaking of things like the company AWE and stuff, I want to get away from Heroes and Legends for a brief second and actually talk about you, Sugar, because a lot of people don't know that you have a history of working in what can be considered obscure companies. When they're just starting out, and they're very inclusion and stuff, and actually building the company up, a lot of people wasn't talking about going, about Resistance Pro, even with the notoriety of the owner and stuff. And you was making that trip to Chicago, every month, several times a month from Georgia. Same thing with Beyond Wrestling, same thing with AWE and stuff. A, how do you find these companies? And B, what gives you the motivation to go to these companies that are just starting out, that a lot of people don't know about, and go there and give them their talent and stuff and help them build them up?
Well, that's an interesting question. That's a very interesting question. I rather like that. Jay-Z, I think, said it best when he was talking about title. And I love that line. And I've tried to live that line ever since I heard it. Like, I feel like I've been living it anyway, but now I just finally had a line to attach to it. People would get on him about the fact that he started the streaming service Tidal, and everybody would compare it to Spotify, and, they would say that, Tidal lost this amount of money. But they would never point out the fact that Spotify lost a ton of money before they became a bit of a household name in the streaming music market. So instead of him selling out to Spotify, of course, he opened his own thing. And the term that he used was, don't go with the flow, be the flow. And there's a lot of guys that want to jump onto something after it gets hot, and it becomes like a big thing about trying to do that. you got to keep your ear to what's going on. You have to get a feeling about stuff sometimes. You have to just know what's involved and are they passionate about this? Like, what kind of talent do they bring to the table? Like, what's their vision? And with all my travels, a lot of the times I'm able to go ahead and keep my ear to that kind of stuff. And I'm just going to be realistic. I feel like a lot of companies are straight NyQuil. They straight drinking the lean about me. And a lot of that is because of perceptions of what I've done in the past. I worked very damn hard to try to change a lot of that, to try and build my body of work, to try and do a lot of different things and show I can go in a lot of different scenarios. And a lot of the times the conventional wisdom of, like, you know, the CZWs, the PWGs, the AIWs, everything to that effect, that's not always an avenue for me because they're not seeing me like that. I'm just being realistic. If somebody wants to change my mind or prove me wrong about that, I will gladly step into your ring. And that's no knock any promoters or bookers or anything like that. But I'm just being realistic. I think they're completely overlooking what I can offer them. And in some cases, I have worked for some of these people, but you're completely overlooking me without seeing what I've grown into since the last time. And that is what it is. Sometimes it's just a business. So it's a necessity for me to go ahead and ride waves. But the thing is, I'm not riding waves after they're made. I want to make them. I want to be a reason why they ended up being hot. And it gives me a chance to be able to go ahead and strike and do my own thing and not have to force my way into something. I remember when freelance was just something that was being talked about and they were just running shows for the sake of the fact that they were tired of all the BS in the Chicago scene. And I just lended my talents because I just liked the thought of it. But it grew into something so much more explosive when it was all said and done. I'm glad to be a part of that, and I'm glad to be positioned where I'm at. The Kane thing was born out of freelance. Beyond Wrestling, of course. Like, you know, they started off in studios, and now they're selling out music halls and selling out in Boston and all sorts of different places. Strong Style Wrestling. Drew could probably attest to this too. They were starting off in a much smaller venue, like barely kind of hanging on. Good quality wrestling, but it was barely hanging on as far as attendance went. And it grew into so much more when they went ahead and they changed locations to the point where all sorts of different people were trying to get in on the act. You got to know when to be the flow. You have to know how to go ahead and do that, because even when you start getting to these bigger companies that everybody are trying to fight to get to, what are you going to do to stand out? And I joke around about this a lot of the times. It's like, let me ask you a question. Anybody here watch Evolve? Anybody?
Oh, of course, definitely.
Okay, people pay attention to Evolve. Okay, great. Evolve has the pick of the litter of the kick pads and bikini type guys. They have the pick of the litter. They're the best at what they do in that style. Okay? That's no knock to them. But there is a wave of wrestlers doing the same style, the same stuff, emulating the stuff that's already being done by the guys who are already the masters of it, or at least, you know, they're painted as the masters of such in the top companies that they're trying to work. So the question that it becomes is, why would I book a guy that does the exact same stuff as the guys that I've already got on the roster and they're unknown versus the guys that are already built up, already built a name at it, etc.? You have to bring something different to the table. You can't go with the flow because the flow's already going. It doesn't need you. You have to be the flow. You have to shake it up a little bit. Like, that's why Ethan Page is such a nice addition to what's going on. Like, guys got an ego, but all ego gimmick, I know. But like, that works for him because of the fact that he's the talker that they normally don't have in Evolve. Fred Yehi, so happy to see him breaking out right now. He's as technical as it gets, but his style and his way that he transitions into things, and the fact that like he is like an off the wall personality is what's gonna make him break out and be a star at Evolve. Don't go with the flow. Be the flow.
Okay, you talk about change and different and everything, And before I get off, I got to tell you, man, you changed so much from being like, I hate to say the basketball wrestler, you know, the Harlem Globetrotter gimmick or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen your match at Beyond Wrestling with Nick Gage, and it was a totally different Sugar Dunkerton than everybody else had ever seen in years. Are you leaning more to it? Of course, like I said, I've seen your match also at AWE with Shane Strickland and stuff, and it was almost along the same lines. Still very hard hitting, still very violent and stuff. It's what, you know, Josh Wheeler likes to call Southern Strong style. Is that what you're leaning more towards? I think you mean Leo Rush. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, Leo Rush.
I think you mean Leo Rush. Yeah, I would love to work Shane. Don't get me wrong, but it was definitely Leo.
Is that what you're leaning more towards now, getting away from, you know, laughing and joking and being more serious and hard hitting?
It's funny to say. Like, what's the best way I can put it? I'm just doing me. And the funny part is, like, if I said that I was what me is right now, I feel like I'm Star-Lord. I feel like I'm Deadpool. Like, they have big personalities. They say some off-the-wall stuff. Like, they are a little off-center. But when it's time to go ahead and get down, they get down. And I feel like for the longest time, I kind of played small. Like, you know, I made people laugh because I thought that's the only way that I could bring something to the table. And I knew, and there was something deep down inside of me where it's like, I know I can do more. I know I can do more. I know I can do more. But I was okay playing small. So I took a risk, not being with Chikara anymore. I did. Because, you know, I was getting plenty of exposure. Everything was cool, but I was never going to grow. And it kind of meant starting over in a lot of ways. But, like, I'm so happy with how things have grown. And now it's just one of those cases where it's like, okay, you saw me do this once upon a time. Now I'm in your face doing this. I'm like a living blaxploitation flick, man. Yes, Dolomite was funny at parts, but yes, he still beat people's ass. Black Dynamite. I'm like that right now, man. Like, I'm Dragonfly Jones without all the beatdowns. You know what I'm saying? I'm Dragonfly Jones funny, but I'm kitschy when it's time. You know, you remember kitschy? I'm like that when it's time for the beatdown. You know what I'm saying? It's yeah. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about my work right now. It's it had to evolve. It had to change because I needed to show people I could do a little bit of everything. It had to change, and I'm happy for that.
Well, all right. Well, Sugar, you know, man, I could talk to you for hours, of course. Next time I see you, I'll probably go talk your ear off. But I got to let you go, man. We got to get ready to wrap this up. Yes, but before I let you go, man, one more time, give all my listeners all of your social media so they can keep up with the king of wrestling, Sugar D.
Oh, most definitely. At Sugar Dunkerton on Twitter. It's going to be, it's Sugar Dunkerton, .tumblr.com. Sugar Dunkerton, FASHO, Sugar Dunkerton for show, again, for the Ebonically Challenge on Instagram. Sugar Dunkerton on Facebook. ProWrestlingTees.com/Sugar Dunkerton. Please, if you want to support, hey, we appreciate it. We'll take the money that jingles, but we'd rather take the money that folds. I appreciate that. Also, the good stuff, please check out that documentary. It's everything to me right now. This Friday, When Worlds Collide, don't want to miss it. War Games. The next night after that, Heroes and Legends. I'm going all the way. I'm getting the deal, and I'm taking somebody's title, somebody that's possibly on this show. Yes. And on April the 2nd, please check me out at Beyond Wrestling. It's me versus Cold Steel Chuck O'Neal, MMA fighter, formerly of the Ultimate Fighter. I done ran through some deathmatch guys. Now I'm about to go against some shoot style guys. It's gonna be wild.
All right, well, Sugar, yo, man, thanks for being on the show, man. I wish we could have you on longer. I know myself personally, I'm gonna speak for Zane and Drew and stuff, man, and Rick and Kev. We definitely want to have you on again. That's cool, Rich. What do you think?
Yes,
I would love to do that. We'd love to do it. What's the deal? Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, look, you have a good night, man. We'll talk to you later, all right?
Most definitely. Oh, before I go, I got to do this because I got to mess with Drew one time. I'm gonna put my own spin on it. You are now rocking with the best, the kind of entertainment. Suge D, and I'm out.
I see you this weekend, brother. Take care. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Zane, Drew, man, that's the show. That's the interview. What do you guys think about Sugar D?
Oh, he was great.